something happened with the internet or anything. I mean, OBS can of course also cause troubles. I mean, I've had the same a
Mm-hmm.
couple of times, so that's plausible, you know.
It's weird.
Uh,
We are live again though, so
okay,
um,
good.
so
That's good.
that's good, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, of course it is. As long as it works, it works. So I think,
Yeah,
yeah, we should just we should move on and yeah, and hopefully everything connects as it should, you know.
yeah. If
Um,
anyone says, "Hey, what the frack is going on? What happened to the this thing?" Um,
what?
yeah, I've just seen a message from a mate who I just sent the link to. He's saying something about do you want to go see 50 Cent in November? Um,
Okay.
yeah, I'm live on a
Nice.
podcast. I have no time to respond to that at the moment. But
No, not really.
yeah. Okay, we may that may have just tanked our views for today, but hey, what's going on?
Mm, yeah,
Raj,
it is what it is.
how
Yeah.
has your week been? How has
It's yeah.
your week been outside of this OBS being weird and destroying our views for the day?
Exactly.
How has your week been?
It's been good. It's been one of those more like normal weeks. Nothing fancy happening or something, but good. I think I'm happy with it. Even though I got some over the weekend, I got some problems in my lower back. I
Mm-hmm.
think I did something accidentally. I'm not 100% sure, but it has been very annoying. I'm not gonna lie. During Sunday, Monday, even. The fun thing is that we had the I did I talk about that? No, that was on Thursday. I think I mentioned that the band is like a whole. We have everything we need now again since we have the keyboard player back, Jan, and also a new singer. His name is Sam, and we rehearsed on Thursday evening. And man, that was a lot of fun. It was a
Mm-hmm.
lot of fun, and it sounded really good. So I think we all got a lot of energy from that. Definitely, that's kind of how when you do something that makes you feel good, that can last not only for the day or the evening, but also into the next day, maybe even one more, and that's great. So that was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, it's been like I know Adam was doing his preparation, to go to Germany. He left early morning yesterday. I
Ooh.
think he woke up like 4:15, to grab a taxi outdoors here in the neighborhood to go, to Arlanda, and then they went to Frankfurt. They are 8 people from the studio, and they are going to a town or city called Offenburg, which is
Mm-hmm.
a bit more down. Like it's very close to one of the biggest or the biggest amusement park in Europe called Europa Park in
Mm-hmm.
Germany. And the reason why they're going is that they are visiting a gaming studio. It's a kind of a, they make these kind of meetings once in a while, and I think they also take THQ Nordic, I believe. It's the studio that made the Destroy All Humans games.
Mm-hmm.
So they're meeting up with them, and yeah,
I've met the
socializing, and
I've literally drank with with one of the people from that studio at Gamescom before. Like
yeah, look at that.
we were
Yeah.
sitting at the bar. I was having a drink. Well, they were having a drink. I was having a drink. I was waiting on a meeting with someone else from. I think I was waiting on a meeting. Was it with THQ? Was it with someone else? I think it
Mm-hmm.
was with either I just finished an interview with Bandai Namco and I was
Mm-hmm.
waiting on one with fracking hell, I can't remember the name of the studio right now.
Yeah.
But
But
I
anyways,
do
yeah.
remember sitting on I was sitting at the bar and this guy was sitting next to me. We were just having drinks and we just started chatting and we were just chatting about a couple things. And then I was like, oh, what studio are you from? Or, what are you press? Like, what are you doing? And he was like, oh, I'm with THQ Nordic. And I was like, oh, sweet. I was like, what game do you work on? And he was like, Destroy All Humans. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I don't actually play Destroy All Humans. I've never
Well,
played your game, mate. Like, that's literally
yeah.
what I thought to myself. I was like, I've never played your game, mate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I felt
You
bad.
maybe you should. Maybe you should. It is fun. It is a lot of fun.
I know they're
It's
fun
really
games.
cool. They are quite hilarious, to be honest.
I've heard good things about them. I've honestly heard good things about the Destroy All Human games.
Yeah.
I personally just never played them, and I think it's because when those games were coming out, I think I just didn't have the platforms for it. I think maybe I think I remember it being on PlayStation, and I remember not having a PlayStation to play it. You know,
that could be the case. Yeah.
So
but anywho, that's funny because you see, coincidences. But yeah, so they are down there. I think they're gonna come back. I think he will be back late. I think it's already Saturday. It's midnight something on between Friday and Saturday. So that's cool. But yeah, I mean, otherwise it's been nice. I mean, finally also it started to become warmer here. It's also warmer now. It's been like 16, 17 degrees. I hope it's gonna stay because it felt really nice yesterday when we were out and everything. So yeah, a bit more spring-alike kind of weatherish, I guess. Yeah, and I also watched the TV talking about the UK. I didn't watch it all, but I saw the excerpts, you might say, from the highlights regarding the new king and queen of England and everything. So, did you watch anything of that? By the way, I can now pass the ball over to you, my friend. When it comes to your week, I'm kind of done with that.
I've got no interest in that kind of stuff, bro. Like, honestly, zero interest. My brain will not even process that kind of stuff. So, like, I think someone in a Discord server that I'm in had tagged me in something and said like congratulations to all the UK people, you know, and tagged me in it and said your new king or queen. And I was like, no, like I don't give a crap about that.
No.
Like, no, I don't have a king, you know, like my king is not that, you know, like I don't worship any other human being other than probably myself. Yeah. So
I know many people worship them either, but of course it is a thing still. The monarchy is pretty strong, and not to mention UK, and also one of the few or the only house, you might say, monarchy house that still are having this kind of ceremonies.
I think the whole idea of a monarchy and all that kind of stuff, especially with the British monarchy, and I think the other thing too is the consideration of the fact that, by the way, hey Rasha, welcome to the podcast. I think the other thing to it as well is the fact that the British monarchy does have a negative connotation with regards to, for example, someone like me from the Caribbean, you know, considering the history of it all. I don't have positive, like, I remember the first time my missus and I spoke about it, like, you know, she was like, oh, big fan of the monarchy and stuff like that. I think this was like really early in our relationship. And I said to her, I was like, I don't have any positive thoughts about them. Like, you know, like, one, I don't really think about them on a regular basis, one. And two, I don't think highly of them, you know, that. So I think at the time she was telling me how much she liked the Queen. And I was like, why? I don't get it, you know. And then I went through the whole, I then started talking history with her, and I was like, yeah, but the history of it all, you know, like, you know, what they have done and all that kind of stuff, and the fact of like how much have they, like, you know, they claim to have changed and all this sort of stuff or done anything, and I'm like, they haven't, you know. They still exist, and they still live off of their they still live off of the value of the things that they've done in the past, you know. So whatever they've done, their family or whatever have you, or people have done in their name, or, you know, with regards to their family, you're not your parents, essentially speaking. Like, I'm not my parents. Whatever my parents do is their business, you know. My parents could do whatever they want in their past and so forth. But that being said, I think the best analogy I can make to it is like, imagine if my mom, you know, like back in the days, you know, back in the cave days, she went to Sweden and she robbed your mom, right? and it was like, look, I'm gonna take your shit, and took a bunch of stuff from your mom. And then throughout your life, you struggled. Like, life was just crap for you after that because your mom never had the money to like, you know, take care of you properly or whatever have you, was the case. And that went on. And then down the line, I still, like, you ran into me and we met each other. We knew of each other. You're like, oh, I know this guy. His mom robbed my mom. But then at that point in time, I still had the stuff that your mom took from me. sorry, my mom took from your mom, and I'm just like, look, I'm not giving you that shit back though. Like, I'm just like not like I'm keeping it. But just know my heart is out there for you. I feel for you, buddy, and I'm sorry for what my mom did. Like, I'm not her, but I'm still keeping the stuff though. Like in my mind, I think in your mind, it would be like, are you insane? Like, no. I mean, at the end of the day, if it were in my shoes, let's say for example, I was it was the other way around, I'd be thinking like, man, I need to give this shit back. I'd be like I can't keep this. Like, if I'm truly remorseful about it, I can't keep any of the shit my parents took. I have to literally just figure stuff out on my own, and I have to like completely destroy any connection to that sort of like that sort of like family tree of what was done, you know. And I think the idea of keeping the monarchy as it is, where it's they're worshipped by people, and you said that most people don't worship them, or at least the majority, I would think. But there's a lot of people who like look at them and it's sort of like this worshiping way, like, oh my god, it's so amazing. Like I must like, you know, I must whatever, I don't know. And I get there's a sort of like historic thing of people like, oh my god, it's one of the only ones left back. But that's like saying like there's like if someone had like a you know, like let's say for example Saudi Arabia. Like Saudi Arabia is like one of the few countries in the world that still practices slavery or something like that, right? That's like saying, oh my god, I gotta go to Saudi Arabia and like check them out. They're like one of the few countries that still practices slavery. Like I gotta see how this happens. You know, like that'd be like, really, you know, like I'm not sure.
I can see the similarity there. I think that's
essentially it for me. So for me, it's
but that's going on now. I mean, sure, history is one thing, and I agree upon what you say without going into deep into it. But on the other hand, if we're just talking monarchy, there's a lot of countries that are doing wrong in many ways without being a monarchy. It doesn't have to be with being a monarchy.
It's the same. I get it.
It has to do with the history of what they've done when it comes to colonization and all that shit, you know. And that can be done without having a king and a queen, of course. But in this case, it happens to be like that since UK apparently has it. I mean, we have a king and a queen in Sweden, and it's also been very controversial through, especially modern times. I mean, should we still have this? What are they doing? I mean, should we, you know, all these kind of discussions. On the other hand, it's PR for the country. I think here, I mean, well, if we compare, I guess to a certain extent, if we compare the history of the Sweden monarchy or the house regarding the king or queen, when we go back in history, I think, of course, we will see differences with the UK. If we're talking also what you describe when it comes to going out and colonize countries. Sweden didn't really do that, but
Sweden did try to colonize.
They wasn't that they did to some extent, but they were in you know, they were involved in many wars, like the like, yeah, I mean, we you know that Sweden once was a big nation because we were constantly in war, like for century, you know, it's a very long time. So I mean, I guess everyone has their background and whatever have you, but I don't know. I just if I look at it from like now without any history, I'm quite neutral to the whole monarchy thing when it comes to Sweden. If I don't think like politics, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, for me personally, I've met the king and the queen quite a few times. I think I've told you that due to the fact that I was, you know, with Cromara and we played concerts and they liked us. They you know, they enjoyed our music and they actually attended when we had our 20th anniversary with the group back in the days. So I'm fine with that. But as anyone else, they're just people, you know. They're normal people. They are, and they're cool. So I'm fine. But I can understand also people that are, how should you say, not fancy so much and get like triggered regarding the whole old ancient way of keeping the bloodline or whatever you want to call it by having a new one and a new one after that and everything. In a modern society as it looks today, if we go to there, because of course, I mean, look at what, you know, which might be a cool thing to, you know, for a lot of people. If you look what happened during the ceremony with King Charles and his queen, you know, they bring this ancient old stone like from the 1100th century, something like that, from Scotland down. They bring holy water from Jerusalem. You know, it's really, yeah, it's very it's quite rare if we put it like that. At least there we can think, agree, I guess. And then everything that comes with it, yeah, that's another thing. And I certainly understand your, how should we put it, description, as you say. I can totally understand that. Yeah, and it doesn't really make sense. That's so many things that are still, we have these layers, you might say, and the surface might look nice and very shiny, but when it starts to scratch, it's like when you paint an old table, it looks great, but if you scratch, you will see the scars from the the time before. And this is of course very obvious here. Yeah, I don't know if we should stay with this topic, but I just wanted
it is it is a heavy topic, and I think just to close it off, I would say one of the ways in which like for example, like my missus and I connected on this topic, or at least came to an understanding with each other about it, because again we disagreed strongly upon it at first. Was I used the example of, because she had told me about her history with, and like Poland and stuff like that, and their history with Russia, for example. And I used that as an example. As like, consider the history of your, because every time something comes to Russia, she always has this really bad, sort of like opinion of sort of like, the Russians did so much stuff to Poland. And she does the same thing when we speak about Germany, because I talk so highly of Germany. I don't have any history of Germany, growing up in the Caribbean and stuff like that. Like, my connection to Germany is Gamescom, so for me, it's like when I talk about Germany like it's amazing. Like, I love Gamescom, it's amazing. But when my missus talks about Germany, that's horrible. Like the Germans did all this stuff and they did all that to us, referring to the Polish. And so for that connotation, like I use it as that, like in that way, essentially when I explain to her, I'm it's like that to us in the Caribbean. Like obviously the British monarchy have not done anything directly specifically to me as an individual, like in that sense. But historically speaking, they have. And so for me, it's like there's that historic sort of like disdain towards them I have. Whereas in the same way, my missus has a historic disdain towards Germans, even though like no German person in modern times actually physically like, done anything to her. But, she's got a historic kind of like hurt, kind of like irritation about the whole thing. And just to respond to the comment by Ratcha, I do know about the stuff that's going on in the US, but regards to responding to it in the podcast, I don't really want to talk about it at this particular point in time. But I can say it is kind of crazy what's going on over there. And Roger and I have spoken about it a lot in the past. Like we have actually done episodes talking about specifically that, because the situation hasn't changed in that country. Maybe when I'm live streaming tomorrow and Thursday, if you're there and you pop in the chat, I'll definitely be willing to like hop on that topic and just have a long conversation about it. But I think for now, because we have touched on it prior and it hasn't changed, I think it would just be it wouldn't be like profitable for us to jump into. I'm so profitable, like for us as a conversation, we'd be regurgitating the same stuff we said before. But that's
true. Yeah, that's true. But just to wrap that up, that was a interesting how do you say comparison you did, and of course that's what we're talking about, also history and kind of almost like a heritage,
yes,
that follows. and of course you also have to decide what to do with it. We can't, I mean, it's there, and you just have to, how should I react about it? It's good to learn about it, and then you just have to decide. I mean, you have to live your life. You have to go on.
Yeah.
You can't, be the bitter man all the time or the bitter woman all the time, even though it's a huge thing. Yes. And I can also see Alex's point of view, especially also being raised and born in Europe and a bit closer to all the events that took place almost like 80 years ago now. But, it's, it is what it is. But it's interesting. As you said, I mean, you've been to... sorry to laugh, but yeah, I've been to Gamescom. It's great. They had good beer and food in Cologne, so I'm fine.
Yep.
And I mean, I've told you. I mean, I've toured I've traveled a lot in Germany. I really like the country. I like the people. It's what it is, And it's terrible what happened all that time back, and it's hard to even grasp or understand. But yeah, we yeah, okay. We can move on. It's just
Yes, that's our little stamp on the whole coronation thing. Roger thinks it's cool. I think it's not. I think it's lame. And that's
what did you say?
Oh, the coronation. I'm saying that's all stamp on the coronation, the whole child's thing, that's all input, because people have been asking me about it before anyway. So now people know what I think about it. So yeah. And his name is Charles to me. As I say, the only king I know is, I was saying to my missus actually last night, I was like, she was like, oh, we've got to because we had this thing, like the school sent us like a text or something saying like, oh, we got to put like £1 towards some kind of picnic they're having for Charles or something for the kids. And I was like, she was like, king something. I was like, king. I was like, there's only one king that my son knows, and it's me. I'm his king, right? Like, ain't nobody got time for no Charles, right? That was basically. That's basically it.
Yeah, but besides that, we were moving on. So it was me that still was. I had to reflect because I think it was interesting when you talked about the comparison with you and the thoughts regarding Alex and everything in the background there with Poland and Russia, which I kind of understand for sure. But even so, the rest of your week, I mean.
So Ratcha's asking if you can super chat. We can't super, like on this particular podcast. This channel isn't monetized as of yet. So we cannot super chat at the moment. But if you want to donate, there are other ways to do so. What other ways are there to do so? Isn't there like, do we have a Patreon? I think we have a Patreon. I haven't used that in a while. I don't know. I think I could drop PayPal, Racha. I'll shoot you a PayPal details, and that should be. I don't think I can super chat. I honestly don't think. I think on my other channel we can, but not this channel. I think this channel is it's not monetized yet, so I don't think we can super chat. I think that's weird. They should have super chat for any channel, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
It's just.
I think so. If you are able to actually live stream on the actual channel, you should be able to do that, even though the channel itself aren't monetized for like the, monetized, meaning for the ads and everything, because it doesn't really make sense. Because otherwise, I would think, okay, you have to reach that point, of whatever 4K watch hours and 1K subscribers to unlock like everything, or even live stream, because otherwise it kind of tilts the balance. I think you should be able to gift or super whatever you want to do. So it's kind of if you think about it, or as you said, I react the same way as you do. I think it's a bit strange.
It is a bit strange.
It's there, but it's not there. It's like what?
It's like you can have this, but no. It's like, it's like
you will see a gray out button, and you can't press it.
Yeah, pretty much. So unfortunately,
maybe in the future.
Unfortunately, Ratcha, I don't think there's a way to super chat at this point in time. I think I don't even know how PayPal works in this thing. I don't. Do we have links for that in the chat? I don't even know. I see. Nope. There are no links to any donation options in the chat as far as I can see. In the description, sorry. So I don't know how to do it. Unfortunately, I'll have to look into it. But I do think there's
figure that one out later.
Yeah, that's not a priority right now. But thank you for the offer, though, Ratcha. We really appreciate it. Feel free to donate to the streams after. I'll do some streams on what do you call it? Bloody fuck, I'm forgetting the name of the damn thing, on Twitch, and you can donate on Twitch. I think there's a bunch of stuff on my Twitch there for that. Anyway, that being said, with regards to my week though, it's been pretty chill. I've been working out with Zavi. We've been doing our thing. He is amazing, by the way. I just want to say shout out to my chibi Zavi. He's amazing. We've been working out together, and it has been fun, and he has been keeping up with me and all that kind of stuff, and I've been loving it. So yeah, it has been quite a lot of fun just working out together. We did a workout last night. It kind of made me think about you and your boys and how you guys do it and stuff like that. It was just fun. We had a great workout. It was he's literally keeping up with me when it comes to stuff. Like, I mean, obviously I'm like, he's not actually for the most part, but his stamina of keeping up with whatever we were doing, even though he's not doing it at the same rates as me. So for example, when we go for a run, he is not as fast as me, but he will do the
stamina,
whole
yeah.
run. Like, even though he'll start breathing and he'll be like, he'll finish it. Like, he'll like, look, I am doing the whole run. Like, even if I tell him, like, okay, let's stop now. He's like, no, we got another block. We got to go. And I'm like, I'm so impressed by him. He's amazing. Or we'll be lifting weights and he'll have a heavy weight and he'll be like, oh, I could do it. And I'm like, nah, you should go down a size, or he'll be doing his push-ups and I'm like, okay, that's enough. He's like, you sure? Like, he wants to do another one, so yeah, he's been amazing. So I just want to say to him, if he ever listens to it, he doesn't listen to this podcast, but if he ever listens to it, Xavi, I'm proud of you. You've been doing pretty great. That being said, he doesn't hear that enough from me, to be honest. A lot of the time he hears from me, it's like, you didn't do your homework. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, we have to think about that as parents as well. We talked about that kind of balance, to actually let them know that we appreciate what they're doing when they're doing it, and that we love them and all that beautiful stuff. But it's nice to hear. I'm happy that you're having those moments, because they are great. I mean, as you know, I've been doing things like that for a very, very long time with both my sons, even though Adam is on his own side more or less now. Well, sure, now when he's staying at home for these 2 months before he gets to his new apartment, then he'll join in again as well, and we have been working out as three. But yesterday I was with Isaac at the gym, and it's nice. You get some time together also away from the house, and you do something together, and it's a bonding thing, actually. I believe.
It is a bonding thing. It's pretty fun. Yeah. And actually, to be honest, like, we were working out in so last night so far we've been doing our workouts in his room, because his room is the most spacious room in the house.
Okay.
And
good.
So it's great. We've got enough space that we can both work out at the same time, because usually like if we're doing working out in the living room, we take turns. And that's not really good. The dining room is cluttered, which I need to sort that out. My bedroom is not as big, and also my bed is massive, so it takes up a lot of the space, and the office is tiny, so there's literally nowhere else to work out in the house other than his room properly. And so we're working out in there. Ty's in bed, he's watching us work out, he's counting for Xavi, like when Xavi has to do like his you think he was doing jumping jacks or something, or was it something he's doing he's warming up, warm-up exercise. I think it was jumping jacks, or I think it was push-ups, and he's doing it. He's like 1, 2, I think it was push-ups. And then he got to like, I told him like do 3 sets of 8, and Ty's counting 1, 2, 3. He gets to 8, and then Xavi keeps going, and Ty's like, Daddy, he's not stopped. It's 8. It's 8. And I'm like, nah, just leave him. Let him do it. And he just went on. He did a bit extra. So funny. Yeah, Ty was just laying in bed watching us work out at first, and then he fell asleep. He was tired though. He was knackered. Like, he's one of those kids that I think most kids do this, where they try to go past when they're supposed to stay up, but then they literally can't. They can't manage it, but they'll try anyway. They're like, oh, I'm so tired, and they're like, but I'll still try to fight it. I'll try to stay awake later.
Oh yeah.
And
that can become quite funny after some time.
Yes,
because you see them struggling; they're almost falling like to the side or something. Shouldn't you go to bed? No, I'm fine.
That's the thing. I sit there and I watch him, and I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me! Like, mate, just go to bed, But one of the things that I've noticed though, like in the past, where it was fun, I think it was admirable, is the best way to put this one, is that he had a mate over, and so like we've got a family friend who her son stays over every now and then, and he was staying over that night, and basically they were playing in the bedroom. I was up there with them, we're just chilling, and it got late, and they were both tired. You could see they were both tired, and they were watching Tele. I think they were watching Bluey or something on the telly, and Ty basically stood up and he was like, look, it's a bit late. He's like, Daddy, I'm going to bed, I'm a bit tired. And I was like, what? Like, Ty saying he's going to bed? Like, wow. So he got up, walked over to his bed, get himself comfortable, get everything ready, and he went to sleep, like, straight up. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Like, that is so cool. Like, one, it showed a lot of maturity in him that he actually like was like, look, I'm going to bed. But also it showed that he was massively tired at that point in time. I think it was probably after 10 at that point in time, and we stayed up. I think because my missus and this friend of ours went out. And it was just us lads just chilling. I love when we have like lad days like that, you know, it's just us in the house. You know, we have like junk food or something, maybe we have pizza or something like that. And it's just guy time, you know, we're chilling and stuff like that. We're talking
That's cool.
about like, I don't know, to be honest, we talk about Bluey. To be honest, it songs on cool, but Bluey is awesome. Like if you haven't seen, if you don't have kids or your kids are old enough and you've not seen Bluey, like you're missing out. Bluey is the shiz. Like it is amazing. I love me some Bluey. But yeah. With that being said, though, and shout out to Ratcha for the donation. I think that's Ratcha anyway. I just got a ping on my PayPal that says someone donated. So I believe, this is Ratcha. So I'll count that as a super chat, you know. But that being said, it's been a pretty chill week other than that. You know, Zafin has been working out. Alice has been doing her own workouts on her own. Like we haven't been working out together. So yeah, we did go cycling together, I think on Saturday. But we haven't really worked out together at all. So it's me and Zavi, we've been working out. Ty's been watching us work out and counting us down, which is him being chill. And just generally speaking, it's been pretty chill. I think Chris has been getting out as well. He's been going to the shops on his own. He's been getting out of the house. He's been doing his thing, you know. He's been christening it up.
Beautiful.
So yeah, generally speaking, it has been it's been nice. It's been honestly a really chill time.
What about the weather? Have you had some? Yeah, I saw since we talked about the what happened over in the UK. And I put on the TV. I was walking back and forth and doing other stuff, but I saw it was raining, so I was like, okay, that's happening, of course. But have you been having like some sun or
there has been some sunny days? The one thing I would say, it is warmer, a lot warmer. Like I'm literally just wearing shorts and a robe right now. I am wearing a robe because it is a bit chillier right now, because early in the morning it's a bit chillier. But for the most part, I'm usually walking around the house with like a thin t-shirt and shorts, or just shorts. And especially because now that I'm working out again, my arms are looking kind of nice and you know, beefy and stuff like that. You know, so I want to show them off a bit. You know, so as soon as my abs properly come back in again, you know, and my chest is all, you know, peckly and everything like that, I'm telling you, Rog, like I'm burning all the t-shirts. I don't need that shit anymore. Like
well, I hope it's gonna be warm at that point. So,
it is. We're going towards. I don't even care if it's winter at that point. Like, it could be cold outside. I'm still going over it. You know, pecs out. I'm like, look.
Bro, because I heard a rumor actually the other day. You know, there are always these people with the forecasts of like, okay, the summer's gonna be like this and this and this. and my wife said, well, they've said that it's gonna be quite hot here, like as it was, or close to as it was in 2018.
No, I don't want that.
That's too extreme. That's too extreme. Remember, I also told you, because at that time I was still working out at Arlanda, you know, at the security control, and I remember it was it was horrible. It was unbearable, because also the air condition at that place was really bad, and I had one colleague. No, actually, two colleagues that fainted because they were also dehydrated, of course. But I never forget that. I only saw one of them faint, and I was just going for a break. Rod, you can take a break now. Okay, so I went for the room that we went to, and I just came out from the security control. And I looked back, because you just have a tendency to do that. Is everything okay? Yeah, it's okay, and you move on. And I did that. I turned around and I just saw, he's quite a big guy as well. He just fell to the right like a freaking timber. Like,
wow.
Boom. Yeah. I mean, people were there. He wasn't harmed, but he had to go to the hospital, you know, to be taken care of. But oh my God, yeah. But with that said, I hope it's not going to be like those 35 degrees or more, because it was quite tense, I remember. So good weather, definitely. I want it. I mean, we still have living like this, or with the four seasons. We have quite short periods of especially summer, it feels like. So, but yeah. Let's see what's gonna happen. We'll know soon enough. Yeah, it's. Imagine, bro, we're soon in the mid of May already. I'm like,
the year is flying by. It's amazing. Like, I was talking to my missus last night, and she was telling me about an appointment we have coming up that in my mind, I was like, that appointment is off by a few a bit more. And she was like, no, it's like Thursday. And I was like, shit, wow. I was like, it's Thursday, like this Thursday. She was like, yeah. I was like after tomorrow Thursday. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so
close, yeah.
Time is flying, which I'm happy about. And it's like I forgot. In a sense, I didn't forget about the appointment. I just sort of like didn't realize it was that close. But I'm happy about it because it does mean good things. So I'm just like, yeah, let's go. Like, you know, Cinnamon, porque. I'm not gonna go into details about it yet at this point in time because of the fact that it's something that I will share later in the podcast. It's something you and I have spoken about already, but like off air. But you know, I'll share this whole story. There's a whole story behind this after the tale has been done. Like, I'm still in the process of the tale, so I think I want to just like get it done, and then after it's done, I'll fill you guys in on the details on the podcast, and you guys will know what's going on, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, so that's what he was talking about back then on episode 171, you know. So exactly. That's essentially the gist of it.
That's a good memory when it comes to the listeners. I have to give them credit for that.
Yes,
that was 171, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember that clearly. I was sitting by the window and listening,
that's exactly how it works. That is exactly how it works. That being said, as I say, exercise has been great. Family has been chill. The weather is warmer, so that's chill as well. I will say though, your boy is gaming a lot more. Shout out to Idea Factory though. Let's jump straight into gaming, and shout out to Idea Factory on Fairy Fencer F Refrain Chord. I am loving this game. Like, whoa, I'm loving it. I mean, we spoke about it last week, so I don't want to go into too much of what I already said about it last week. I think if you want to know details about the game from last week, go listen to last week's episode. Like, that's the whole point of it being a podcast and recorded and stuff like that. You can go back and listen to it. It's all good. But those of you who want to hear about it now, I'm just saying Fairy Fencer F Refrain Chord, is amazing from Idea Factory and Compile Hearts, and it is just a really fun game, a tactical RPG. I've learned a lot more about the mechanics of the game since then. Like, you know, I've obviously unlocked a lot more fairies, or furies, however you want to call them, and I've been advancing the story, and I have to say the pacing is nice. You know, I've been getting through the visual novel segments a lot more, you know, quickly, it seems like. And the battle system, the battling has been getting more and more complex and interesting. And I find it's nice how they've been introducing elements into the battle system as it goes along. I think sometimes you do need that. Like, in my mind at first, I was like, why don't they just give me everything now? You know, but now that I think about it, it's not the reason that they haven't done it is it's just not overwhelming. Like, because of the fact that they're sort of drip feeding it, I'm able to take my time and enjoy the game, and I'm loving that. I'm loving the fact that I'm actually just enjoying the game, and that is great and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
It's also making me want to play the other Fairy Fencer games, which there are other Fairy Fencer games out there. The one I have, which is the one, I guess it's supposed to be like a prequel to this game, which is Fairy Fencer F. I think it's Dark something. My brain is drawing blank to it. It's okay. But it's Advent Dark Forces, I think is something like that is the name of it. But that game, I've just been thinking to myself, like, my God, I want to go back and play that game. Like, I have the game. I have not felt the urge to play it, but after playing this and getting to know more about the characters and all that kind of stuff, I am feeling a lot of like, I want to get back into this. And I want to say one of the things that I've noticed from playing this game as well is the fact of how much I love strategy RPGs. I already knew I liked them, but I think they're my favorite subgenre of RPGs. And it's just like, coming from something like Triangle Strategies, I love Triangle Strategies. It was amazing. And jumping into this, I'm just feeling like I feel at home. I feel comfortable. I feel like I'm really, really enjoying this. And I think, like, my missus right now, she's also playing a strategy RPG called Fire Emblem, and she's loving it as well. So I'm just like, she's like, oh, this is so amazing. Granted, she says that about every game she plays. So, like, you know, she's a noob. So, you know, she starts playing.
It's all new.
It's all new to her. Almost every time she starts playing something, she's like, oh, it's so amazing. But I know that's just new brain. She's playing Fire Emblem Engage, and she seems to be doing pretty well. She was telling me I was being a bit critical of her last night about, you know, like, her gameplay and stuff like that. I literally stared at the game for like 2 minutes and saw a character die, and I was like, "Are you sure you're strategizing there?" I think I was a bit too critical. I mean, I don't get that I'm being too critical of her. I feel like I'm just being fine, like just pointing out things. But then at the same time, she was not taking that very nicely. She was like, "Look, I followed the instructions you told me. You told me to play with permadeath. Like, I'm doing that." So I was like, "Okay, cool. Like, say no more. Por aquí." But that's what I've been playing. I've been playing Fire Fence F. I'm loving it, and I highly recommend it. I think right now at this point in time, for how much I've played in it, it is a big high recommendation for me. I will say as much though. I'm playing on the Switch, and I can see the visuals being a bit lower than I would like them to be when it comes to certain aspects of the game. And I feel like this is a game that maybe if you have an option, get it for Steam. It's coming out on Steam later down the line. I think probably get it on Steam. Okay. More likely than not, because the visuals are going to be better. I say this because I think this is a game that needs to be played on handheld. It's a handheld. It connects well with handhelds. And Steam has the Steam Deck. So that's the reason why I would say get Steam.
Yeah.
You could also play it on a laptop, which is a smaller screen than a regular desktop screen, I guess. If you have a PS5 or I don't know, is this on Xbox? I don't think it's on Xbox. I know if you have a PS5, maybe, but then I don't rate PlayStation for their Japanese games. I think PlayStation, if you want to play Japanese games that are potentially censored, then get it on PS5. But
all right,
that's the one downside to playing Japanese games on PlayStation, is that there's a higher chance that you may run into censorship on your game. And I think if you want the most authentic version of any Japanese game, don't get it on PlayStation. Not right now. PlayStation used to be the place to get it, but at this point in time, you're better off getting it on Switch or PC. And that literally has nothing else to do with the power or performance. PlayStation 5 runs well. It's a good looking console. The UI is shit. But that being said, it's just the censorship that Sony implements. That is the main issue. Why I don't stand by the PlayStation when it comes to Japanese games. Western games, yeah, it's fine. That being said, Rog, you have been playing a game that is a long stay for you. I've played that game in the past, but have I played it in the past? No, I don't think I have. I've played previous entries to that game. Okay. How is this? Because it said something like beta when I read your show notes. Is it a beta or something? Is it a mod?
It's a mod.
It's a mod. Okay, go for it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we're talking about an older game. It's Black Ops 3, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 from 2015.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just me, doing what I do sometimes on my YouTube channel. I go back and play some older games and I talk about them, how they're doing like now and if it's good and stuff like that. And it's kind of interesting because usually that's just the gist of it, nothing more to it. But then this time around, when I downloaded Black Ops 3 on Steam, and I was mainly then playing the multiplayer, it was not that great because it was a lot of cheaters, a lot of hacked lobbies. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, I got into one of these situations where I wanted to write something in the chat, and when I wrote, I wanted to write something about the gameplay, and I wrote, and it said, "I wanna F your mother and I gonna do this and that to you."
Wait, you wrote that or someone else wrote that to you?
No, it happened when I tried to write the other things, like the game is like blah, 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 blah. So I understood that it's hacked and someone, report him. And I was like, wait, it's not me doing this. So with that said, I shied away. I stopped playing and I thought, okay, maybe I should just skip this idea and leave it behind, Because Black Ops 3 for me, I mean, this was when, it started to become this advanced movement and wall running and jetpacks and stuff like that. But I enjoyed that game a lot. And I think from the Call of Duty community, if I listen in, I think a lot of people now, also looking in the rear mirror, are saying that it's like the last really good Call of Duty game being made. And to a certain extent, I do agree, actually, to be honest. So what to do? Well, I can't really tell how or what, but I actually came across just a few hours later the fact that which I know there are other older games where you can play like mods and everything regarding Black Ops 2 and then some other games, Modern Warfare 2 and so forth. And I've done that before because it's like a bit of a revival thing. You get into other servers and you will find maybe even more players, whatever have you. So there's this guy, one guy, Maurice, I think his name is called Momo on Twitter, and he has been working for quite some time on a modded client when it comes to Black Ops 3, and he's having some, you might say, testing now, and he will make it like a free mod, you might say, later on after summer or beginning of fall. But right now it's also, which it was an easy thing for me to do. I think it's nice to support the guy like this. So you pay like, at least for now, early access, you pay like $6, and you're able to join and download the mod, so to speak. You better have the base game though, and right now you can buy, I think it's 20 quid or something on Steam when it comes to Black Ops 3. And Black Ops 3 was also known to have really, really good zombie game mode. So you can do that together with friends, and I think everything is more or less unlocked. So what's the gist of it? Well, that's because if you play it like that enough through the Steam, like the regular way with the Activision service, you will not have cheaters. Actually, I had better performance on these servers that this guy is putting up. I almost doubled my FPS. It's kind of hilarious if you think about it, and not the official servers. So I made a video. It's up on my channel. I played. I got back to it. I got back to into the sniping also in that game, because it actually takes quite skillful. It's very fast paced, and you jump a lot as well with the thrusters or jetpacks and stuff like that. So it goes quite fast. But I had fun, and I made a video about it. And I actually said, and I believe, because I went onto the Steam charts, checking out player count, that it has increased all from like December something last year up to now. Quite maybe 2,000 more players, on average, something like that. And I think that has to do with a lot of things. Also, the disappointment when it comes to newer Call of Duties recently. So people tend to go back and check out the older games that they used to like and play. But I think also this has contributed, because I also saw other content creators talking about this mod. It's in its making still, but it's there. It's playable and it's good. So, and I think it's interesting to see once again that the community or parts of the community are stepping in to actually do what to a certain extent the devs are not able to do.
I don't say that the devs are not able. I think the devs refuse to do, in the sense of like
even more,
because they could, like, I mean, there have been devs who've gone back and approached older games that they've done, and keep them alive and all that kind of stuff. It's just Call of Duty as a franchise, or Activision as a brand, they're not too concerned about what they made prior. It's about what they can make now. It's
that is true. Yeah.
So that's where I would put it. I'd say it's literally the fans keeping something that they like running because they like the thing, and they think that there's value there. Whereas the devs don't see it that way. To them, it's like, well, this isn't making any more money for us. We we need to move on to the next thing that we can get more money from. So yeah, that's basically it. That's modern gaming for you, to be honest. That's modern gaming. A lot of the stuff you have to do to keep modern gaming going and all that kind of stuff comes from the player base, to be honest, more than anything else.
Yes, that's true. That's also why you see like games that have the possibility of modding or having these very long lifespans, you might say. I'm thinking about also like some Valve games, like Team Fortress or whatever have you. I mean, it's smart, it's good, and I think when you also engage, or how should we put it, the community feel that they are a part of the game, they are able to contribute and be part of it to a few percentage here and there. I think that the player value, it kind of increases, and it's cool. Even so, I was happy to see this. It felt good. Good. So yep,
that's the thing. That's kind of how it works. At the end of the day, the players will add value to whatever they enjoy. The games I enjoy, I put more time into. I think like a game that we enjoy, that we've managed to put time into. It's not a game that's heavily modded or anything like that. But we always come back to it. I think it's Dead by Daylight. And I think that's a game that the developers have been like, for better or worse, they have been updating and doing a lot of work on. I can't speak for like the the sort of like the regular community who play it day in, day out. We're not those guys, but for what we do, we come in every few months and we play, which by the way, there's a new update, by the way, for that game. Generally we pop in and we check out what new stuff is there. And I think that's what keeps us coming back. You know, we come back, it's got good gameplay. And it's just a nice place, a nice game to just sort of like kick back and hang out with your friends and stuff like that. And I like that. True. And sometimes it's not the players, sometimes it's not the devs who do it, sometimes it's the players who come in and keep those games alive. And I think that's the beauty of it in a sense, especially considering the fact like you, and I think it was a great thing that you mentioned Team Fortress, because they're like the poster child of the best way to do it, you know, which is they created a whole economy and everything around their game, you know. Games like Counter-Strike and stuff like that, amazing with regards to like mods and all that kind of stuff. You know, just thinking about how much money people make in Counter-Strike, or just how you know, well loved and well thought of that game is as a franchise. And it just comes from the fact that the devs understand that part of, you know, creating a franchise and creating a game that resonates well with people is being able to share that experience with the players and being able to share the creativity behind it, you know, opening up to mods and stuff like that, and finding a way to implement that in a positive way where it doesn't really hurt the franchise and it just adds to it, essentially. Some developers, you know, find it really difficult to do that, or publishers find it difficult to do that. Speaking of like a big example is Nintendo. They do not like anyone touching their shit. Like you get close to Nintendo, exactly. It's like lawsuit. So but I think that's good. It's good that Black Ops is getting more love and support. I'm happy that you're happy with regards to it. Personally, I don't know, maybe I'll jump into to that kind of FPS stuff again in the future. Maybe when my boys are a bit older, we'll probably hop into some FPS. You know, we'll challenge you and your boys. You know, by that point in time, we'll be better. You know, so it'll be great.
Good luck with that.
I know, right? You know what? To be honest, if that ever happens, I'd probably be holding back the boys. I think they'd be better at FPS than I'm, and then I'd be like, "Look, cover me, bring me back to life. I'm dead. I'm dead."
Exactly. Revive.
That's literally gonna be it. I'm dog. You know.
Exactly. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I'd be like, this is why I play JRPGs. You know, screw you. I'm going home.
Oh man.
And hello and welcome to everyone in the chat, by the way. Shout out to Daniel, shout out to Chris, you know, shout out to Miss AR, shout out to Ratcha, who's been there for the beginning. I don't know if Ratcha's still there, but I think he is.
Thank you for listening. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Shout out to the live viewers. To those of you in post, shout out to you guys as well. I can't obviously shout you up because I don't know who you are in post. You're gonna have to like comment, and then I can respond to your comment, which would be amazing. So yeah, definitely. Shout out to you guys. You guys are amazing. La di da, swiddle. Let's talk about some Tele though, Raj.
Yep.
You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I can go first.
You sure?
Yeah. I'm starting my engines here. Yeah. Where's the first gear? Here we go. Oh, I'm forward. Okay. So I have been. What happened? It sounded like you choked, but it was like
I did. But literally, so my throat is dry. Usually when I come to do the podcast, I have something to drink. Kind of like when you have your tea. I don't have anything today.
No, but it's true. You know what? Because I had breakfast before, and my tea is it's gone for a long time. So I'm like sitting here dry like a desert.
Dry throat.
Yeah.
It's like the Sahara Desert in my mouth.
Exactly.
It's fine though. It's fine. Like I'm not mad at that. Like I'll get something to eat after. I'm gonna have a protein shake and something to eat because I didn't have anything yet for the morning, so I'm gonna probably make some eggs, maybe with some toast and a protein shake. There's one weird thing my missus has been doing though. She started to like not like the smell of eggs in the house, which I don't like. Yeah, like I'll make eggs and she'd be like, did you just make eggs? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I could smell it upstairs. Can you just spray? And I'm just like,
oh, really?
Yeah, okay. I'm like, why? Like, I like the smell of eggs. It makes me feel.
Eggs aren't that really, not offending. I guess.
I don't know. She's never really been offended by it in the past. So I'm not sure what it is.
No. Is it a combo with something else with the eggs?
I don't know. I just fry some eggs and that's it. I don't know. Okay. Maybe we'll figure that out in the future or whatever have you and so forth. But it does remind me of my mom. My mom does not like the smell of eggs at all. Like, period.
Okay.
you know. But which is the weirdest thing. But she'd always buy eggs though. She'd be like, "You guys need to eat eggs. They're great for you." And then you'd make eggs, and she'd be like, "Oh, come." She's like, "It smells so bad. Why did you make?" I'm like, "Well, why?" You know, like, no,
Okay.
I'm never eating eggs again. Literally.
Okay,
but
but a basket of eggs, I guess. Well, we're gonna go back to where we were, but it's interesting. I want to hear more about that smell thing.
we will get back into that. And no, Nalu, it's not anime talk. It is though gaming related. So at least Roger's show is. Rog, take the floor. Go for it. Talking about this? Yeah, this is your turn, man. Go for it.
Okay, my engine starts again. It was down for a second. So I have been watching a movie. I have been watching Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, and this is the newest or a new Dungeons and Dragon movie. And it was released this year. It has a 7.4 rating on IMDb. I would say I am around there. I think it was really a good rating this time around because I do agree. It means that it's good. It's definitely recommendable. It's not like the best movie I've seen, but it's fun, it's entertaining, it has a good kind of vibe and chemistry between some of the characters as well. I mean, you will see Chris Pine in there. You will see some other good actors and actresses like Hugh Grant, for example.
No, I shouldn't have known that. Oh no, I don't like knowing Hugh Grant is in films, man. It's horrible. You see, the reason being is that whenever I know Hugh Grant's in a film, I'm watching the film waiting for him to show up. Like, he's my favorite actor. Like, oh no, it's horrible. Like, I'm watching the film. I'm like, okay, so when does he show up? So when does he show up?
God.
So does he show up now? Does he show up now? Damn it! No. Oh, bloody hell! I need to wash this out of my brain. You know. While you're talking, I'm scrolling. I would have seen this anyway. Like, I'm scrolling through the cast. I'd have seen him eventually. Unless, of course, if you said like so Dungeons and Dragons, and then great movie, bye, and then we switch this up again. But
that's a bit short, but I can understand what you're saying. But even so, I just wanted to say that because I believe you're gonna watch it at some point.
Yeah, I will definitely.
Yeah, but it's a good adventure movie. It really is. You know, they go on, of course, on a kind of epic quest, you know, to retrieve a lost relic. That's basically what you need to know. And of course, weird shit happens. And if anyone has a clue about the universe of Dungeons and Dragons, I think you can imagine that there will be a lot of weird stuff, you know, happening and coming up. It's just you have some good action, you have some sorcery, you have weird, some laughs, definitely. As said, it's some quite funny moments as well. So again, it's recommendable. I give this movie a thumbs up. I can't say how I watched it because that's disclosure. It's very sorcery, hidden kind of.
You need some magic, is it? Oh man, the beauty of magic. Oh,
yep, beauty of magic. Meow. So, but cool, yeah, it was nice. This was a bit under my radar. I wasn't really aware of that this movie had been released, to be honest. But there you go.
Let's go for it.
Action, adventure, comedy. Yeah.
I knew it came out. We saw like banners for in the theaters when we went to the last memory I have of it, like was I think so Alex and I went to the theaters and we were watching something. I can't remember what we went to see, but I remember us taking a picture in front of the Dungeons and Dragons, sort of like poster or whatever they had up there in the theaters. And we, you know, she asked me at that point, do you want to go see it? And I was kind of like, no, not really, but you know, I kind of want to see it now. So I don't know, bloody Hugh Grant's in there. I know I have to see it. You know, I'm just can't help myself. That being said, I, on the other hand, was watching something else.
Without Hugh Grant.
But an actor that I really like as well. And I've found myself liking a lot more in recent times, and that is Idris Elba. So
yeah, look at that now.
I am becoming I'm quickly becoming a bigger and bigger Idris Elba fan. Like I didn't really.
He's cool.
He is cool. He is really cool. I
like him. Yeah, I like him.
But I didn't really think of him as cool before. Like I was just like, you know, whenever there's like a star,
he's a bit of the quiet type, quiet guy, you know, like
I think he's just stoic is the way I'd sort of like put it.
Maybe even more like that. Okay, sure.
He's so stoic. He's like cool, chill, calm kind of chill vibe. But the thing is that I've never really been like, whenever, there's always that actor or actress that everyone's like, oh, most beautiful actress or most beautiful actor or whatever have you and so forth.
Yeah.
Idris has had that moniker for a while. And I've found myself thinking, like, I usually pull away from that kind of actor or actress. I'm like, I don't really care about that. Like, when they started saying Halle Berry was, like, the best looking actress ever and all that, I was like, yeah, I don't really care for Halle Berry anymore. When they did it for, what do you call an actor again? Fracking hell, my name's drawing blank. Anyway, the point is, remember Halle Berry, right? That being said, so when Idris came up, I was like, I don't even know this guy. I don't really care too much. But every time I see him in something, I like it. Like, he's great. And this is, I think, some of his best stuff. And I think it connects so well with me because it's got romance, it's got comedy. It's just really, really nice. So the name of the show is called Turn Up Charlie. It's on Netflix. It came out in 2019. It's a short miniseries, about 8 episodes. Each episode is about 30 minutes long. And it's about basically, so he plays this DJ named Charlie. And he's basically this bachelor who like made it big for this song back in the day, but he squandered it. He squandered it on drugs, on women, and all that kind of stuff. And he's basically like trying to get back to that success, like being a successful person and stuff like that. But he just can't get a break essentially with regards to his stuff, and he himself is sort of disconnected with how the whole music scene and everything is like today compared to when he started out and stuff like that. And then his mate, like his best friend from back in the day, is like, he's in Hollywood, he's like a big movie star and stuff like that, and he moves back to the UK with his family, and they run into each other at this other friend's wedding, and he tells Charlie, like, you need to come around and meet my family and stuff like that and so forth. And Charlie goes over to his house, meets his family, and he gets, basically, he spends time with his mate and stuff like that. The mate's daughter is there. So she's like this little chibi, I think like maybe like 8 years old or something like that. Cool. And, or maybe older, I don't know. But essentially he's spending time with them, and then he goes out with the mate, and his mate has to ditch him for something, but it's his mate and the mate's daughter. And so Charlie, he says, "Oh, Charlie, can you watch her for me? Like, can you like make sure to get her home?" And he's like, "Mate, don't leave me with her alone." But they hit it off. Like, him and the daughter, they get on real nice at the beginning, right? And so the friend says, "Hey, like, can you like nanny for her? Like, can you like," he didn't say nanny, he's like, "Can you look after her for us? Like him and his missus, until like we get things settled, like we'll pay you for it." And he's like, "Oh, I can't do that, man." He's like, "Yeah, my mate, 1 and 2, like I'm not a nanny." And he's like, you won't be a nanny. You'll be doing a favor for the family and stuff like that. And so he does need the money. He ends up working for his friend as his friend's daughter's nanny. And the thing is, the daughter does not like having nannies, because the whole thing is that having a nanny means she's not spending time with her parents. And she wants to spend time with her parents, obviously. So her and Charlie were getting on well up until the point she became her nanny, and then until he became her nanny, and then she just turned on him. And you have this sort of story. It's sort of like a friendship forming between a kid and an adult. And I like those sort of movies. Like, I mean, my favorite movie of all time is is About a Boy, and it's a similar kind of tale. A young child and older adult becoming sort of best friends. And that dynamic that comes from a sort of like a tale like that. And I think this one is very similar in that regard. You have this dynamic between the little girl and Charlie, and the friendship that forms between the two of them. The actress playing her is Frankie Harvey, who plays Gabrielle, which is the daughter. And it is amazing. Like, she plays the role well. He plays the role well as well, and it's great. Big shout out to Piper how do you say that name? Parabo. Let's say that. Let's say Parabo. She plays the mom, Sarah. And she plays a great role as well in there. She does really, really good. I think I've seen her in other stuff before. I can't remember what I've seen her in before, but yeah, shout out to her. She does an amazing role in that film. Also to JJ Fields, who plays David, his best friend. He plays an amazing role as well. I think he crushed it in his role. He's kind of the unlikable character in the show. Like, you know, as you go through it, as it goes on, you kind of start to realize David is a bit selfish and he's a bit unlikable. There's Gus Kahn in there, who I just want to shout out Gus. I've been seeing him in more and more stuff. He's amazing. Oh, it's Gus. He's I've seen, the last time I saw him in something was Man Like Modine, which I did like Man Like Modine, at least the first season. I'm not too keen to, I haven't watched the second season yet, to be honest. I was afraid to watch the second season. But either way, Man Like Modine, he's in there, amazing. He's like Charlie's best friend. And then last and certainly not least is Angela Griffin, who plays Astrid, who is like who's an interesting character. Let's put it that way. I won't go into details. I think you guys should see her in her role and all that kind of stuff. I've said a lot about this show so far, but I think you just gotta experience it. There's a lot that you will see in the show, and I think it's just an amazing show. It's wholesome. It's awesome. It's a 7.0 on IMDb. I give it a 10. But that way, I love it that much. It's a 10. I think it's great, and I think that one of the best parts about it, it doesn't overstay its welcome. You know, it's 8 episodes and it's done. That's it. And I'm like,
okay, yeah,
I want to see more, but I understand why it's short, you know?
Yeah.
So
sometimes that is better. We talked about that before as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be super cool with like the 2, 3, or even 4 seasons or more, but sometimes, yeah, like 1 season, whatever, or, you know, that kind of number when it comes to episodes can just be the thing.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely. It's a good show, I want to say, you know?
Yeah.
So, Turn Up Charlie. Definitely checking out.
Noise.
It's a big shout out to that show. I think you need to see it. You know.
Cool.
But that being said, I think we've got an episode. Raj, what do you think?
I think so too. Or is it something else? Or are we?
No, I think we dropped the shout out thing last week. So I don't know.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I agree with you, which I think is good for now.
Yeah.
So with that said, with that out of the way, it's time to continue the day, and I hope you're gonna be able to do that, my friends out there as well. I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna feed yourself. I gotta go and make that coffee to get my head into a better spin than it is right now. So with that said, thank you for listening and take care. Stay healthy. I hope you got some good advices here during this podcast, but foremost, I hope you enjoyed and had a good time. So hopefully talk to you soon again, a week from now. Take care. Until then, muffin and out.
Muffin and out. And with that, before we head out, I just want to read a couple of the last few comments on there.
Sure.
Nalu saying, I just watched Scarlet Bond on Crunchyroll. Lexi in the chat saying she's about I would say try Rent a Girlfriend. So we'll you know, that's what we could do. Those of you who watch live can make your suggestions at the end of the podcast of what you guys think we should check out and stuff like that. I think that's actually pretty chill. Q needs to warn you about something of podcast. No, I don't need to warn anyone about anything. That being said, guys, thank you very much for all of you who showed up for the live. It is amazing. I appreciate you guys being here. And for those of you who are in the live and are a bit silent, you should chat more. Let's hear from you guys. It'll be amazing, you know. See. So that being said, thank you very much for everyone who showed up for the podcast. We appreciate you guys and all that kind of good stuff. If you enjoy this podcast, you can find Raj pretty much everywhere at 40 plus number 40 to SPLASH. He streams on a Tuesday, Wednesday, and a Sunday. That's correct, Raj?
Yup.
That is correct. That's beautiful. You can find me at LP Gardens, Garden Talk to you pretty much everywhere else. That's it. And you can also find me at Simply Binge streaming on a Tuesday, Monday and a Thursday, sorry, on Twitch. So you can go and pop over on Twitch and catch me streaming. I am streaming Fairy Fence F at the moment. So if you want to see more of this game that is on the screen right now, come hang out with your boy and all that kind of good stuff. La-di-da, swiddle. So that, guys, as always, we would like guys to miss any of the episodes of That Beautiful Life podcast. Many people would like subscribe to this podcast on Castbox, Acast, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and simplybinge.com and elsewhere. And there's a company getting like that, we're giving it for free. So as always, guys, this has been queued for your pleasure. And it's a wrap. That is the episode.
It is.